Good evening. Welcome to Washington. I'm Brett Baer. It's been 8 days since Donald Trump was elected to be the 45th president of the United States. 1 week and 1 day. It took President-elect Obama nearly 3 weeks after Election Day in 2008 to announce his first cabinet choice. It took President-elect Ronald Reagan 5 weeks in 1980 and President-elect Carter 4 in 1976. But if you read the headlines and follow most news reports, the conventional wisdom is that President-elect Donald Trump and his team are not ready for prime time, are crawling along with their picks, and are involved in a presidential appointment knife fight behind the scenes. Tonight, the president-elect and his team are doing something very familiar from the campaign trail. They're ruffling feathers, defying convention, and pushing back against critics. Journalists and critics already in a lather are even more so over reporters being left behind for a family dinner last night at a famous Manhattan restaurant. Trump, meanwhile, insists things are going smoothly. Correspondent Doug McKelway is outside Trump Tower in New York to begin our coverage tonight. Good evening, Doug.
And Brad, a new name is now being talked about as a potential Treasury Secretary. He is CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon. Our sister network, FBN, is reporting publicly now that Dimon says the Treasury job is, quote, not suited for him. But FBN reports there is a push for either Dimon or Steve Mnuchin, Trump's former campaign finance chairman, to accept the job. Dimon appears to have the edge, but that doesn't preclude other names from surfacing here, because remember, this is a two-way street. The president has to make the offer, and the potential candidate has to accept that potential offer. All this as the Trump team and the president-elect push hard to fight back against these accusations of a campaign in chaos.
There's a methodical approach to all this being put together. We're not going to rush to put names forward until we're absolutely sure. And we're going to make sure that there are people that we're confident are going to pass confirmation, and there are people we think that can implement the president-elect's vision.
President-elect Donald Trump defended the transition, too, with a tweet. Very organized process taking place as I decide on cabinet and many other positions. Back in Washington, Vice President-elect Mike Pence visited the transition headquarters and then stopped off at the Naval Observatory for lunch with Vice President Joe Biden. Once a virulent Trump critic, Biden toned it way down today.
They ran on a platform. They're going to try to move. I think there's a lot of things that were done where we can reach some accommodation. Look, it's a whole new world.
The steady stream of administration and cabinet candidates continued to file through the Trump Tower today. Now considered a possible pick for National Security Advisor is Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. The former Defense Intelligence Agency chief has been a rabid critic of Obama's foreign policy. Because the NSA position is not subject to Senate confirmation, his deeply social conservative views would bypass scrutiny by Senate Democrats.
The president-elect and I spoke last week.
In the running for Secretary of Defense is Arkansas Republican Senator Tom Cotton, who would bring a big mind and big experience to the job. The Harvard Law School graduate passed up a lucrative law career to serve as a platoon leader in Iraq. Fueling criticism over the transition team's process, the dismissal yesterday of Christie loyalist former Republican chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Mike Rogers. Rogers was seen as a possible CIA director, but his absolving Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in the Intelligence Committee Benghazi report may have sealed his fate. An unlikely visitor to Trump Tower today was New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. In an hour-long meeting with Trump, he wants answers to what he should tell troubled New Yorkers about the next president and the huge cost the transition is causing New York.
The traffic situation is a very real problem, and it's magnified, of course, because we're going into the holidays.
This is all a part of the learning process for the soon-to-be Trump administration, and the criticism will not let up after Inauguration Day. Brett?
Doug McKelway outside Trump Tower. Doug, thank you.